Today, we've got the keys to Chevy's all-new Silverado, and we're going to put it through its paces and tell you what we think about it. Then we'll show you how to personalize and pump up the power of this brand new truck without voiding the warranty. It's all today here on Trucks.
Hey, welcome to Trucks. You know, it feels like we get the best job in the world here. We get to see what's new and happening in the aftermarket. We get to go to trade shows and factories and build cool trucks. And sometimes we even get the opportunity to test drive brand new vehicles that these manufacturers are putting out.
And we're going to continue to give you guys a look at brand new trucks. And we're not going to play favorites. We're going to test them all, give them the once-over, and let you guys know what we really think, good and bad. And today, we get to run around in Chevy's brand new Silverado and flog the crap out of it.
Yeah. Now, since you're watching this show, odds are you're just like us and you drive a truck. As a matter of fact, half of the new vehicles purchased this year are going to be light-duty trucks. So the opportunity to get a really close look at what you could potentially throw down 30 grand or more for, well, it matters. So we're going to continue to test, give you our honest opinions and real-world numbers on each of these new vehicles that we check out.
This is a pretty nicely equipped four-wheel drive Silverado with their 2LT trim package with plenty of interior appointments. Now, we think it's a pretty good-looking truck, but we thought we'd get a few insider opinions from some of the people we work with.
I think it's pretty cool, man. I mean, I really do. I'm glad to see that they got away from the iron block and went aluminum. That's really neat.
I gotta say, my favorite things are, number one, the extended cab window rolls down instead of pops out. It's a nice different touch. And I like how the extended cab door opens way around. And I dig that two-tone interior.
Yeah, it's all hydroform. Dude, that's cool.
Have you noticed that there's 2 cup holders in the rear, 3 on the console, and 1 in each front door? And there are 2 glove boxes? There's extra storage everywhere.
That's neat.
What are you looking at?
The rack and pinion. I didn't know that they did that. Is this the first year for the rack?
First year, four-wheel drive, yeah.
Now, this Chevy's obviously a brand new truck, but the Silverado name first came on the scene back in 1975. Chevrolet's first truck hit the streets in 1918, and over the years, the changes in style and design that led to today's Silverado have come fast and furious. In 1975, the name Silverado was used for the first time as the top trim package for the C10 pickup, while the 80s saw additions like fuel injection and overdrive trannies. In 1999, the Silverado was introduced as its own line on the GMT 800 platform. And that brings us to today with the introduction of the GMT 900 platform. With the 07 Silverado's new GMT 900 series platform, GM has once again totally redesigned this truck from the wheels up, starting with some updated engine choices, like this top-of-the-line 6-liter with a projected 367 horsepower. The 900 series platform has a hydroformed front frame section and is fully boxed all the way out back for added strength. A new coilover IFS front suspension for 2- and 4-wheel drives has cast upper and lower control arms. And for the first time ever, rack and pinion steering in their 4-wheel drive trucks. The rear is a straight axle with leaf springs and a 1-inch wider track, and features the Eaton automatic locking diff that senses a 100 RPM difference in the rotation of the rear wheels and automatically locks both axles, giving incredible traction. So now we need a way to test the performance claims of the new Silverado, make sure they're accurate and keep the factory honest. So we're going to be using Hypertech's new HyperPack as a testing device. This is going to give us hard data and actual objective numbers, not just some information from the vehicle manufacturer's sales brochure. And we'll use the HyperPack on every single new truck that we test as an honest way to give a real comparison for you guys. The HyperPack plugs into the OBD2 port and has its own windshield mount, so you can put it in an accessible place out of your field of vision. The touchscreen is easy to navigate, and the unit will monitor engine and drivetrain data in whatever format you want to see it. Performance numbers using a drag strip simulation include 0 to 60, 1/8 and quarter mile times, as well as rear wheel horsepower and other dyno features.
out on the road, if a full-size truck can feel sporty, this one does. Its responsiveness will fool you into thinking it's half its actual size.
Steering feedback is immediate with the new rack and pinion system, and the new frame keeps it level in the corners.
The new styling looks great from a distance, and up close, the fit and finish of the new body has stepped up a notch with tighter panel gaps, which also makes for a quieter ride.
Go on green.
Our acceleration test gave us an 8.2 second run to 60, and we covered the quarter mile in 16.2 seconds at a little under 88 miles per hour.
Now get a braking. Yeah. All right, we're at 60. Brakes work. Brakes work.
Eyes about popped out of my head.
They still make an ashtray. You can't smoke anywhere else in America except this truck. There's still an ashtray there.
Around town, we got 16 miles per gallon, and out here on the highway, we got 21 because of GM's active fuel management system that shuts down 4 cylinders under light loads and fires them back up when you need all 8.
The throttle response is good, and you would never know that it's switching from 4 cylinders to 8 cylinders. It's absolutely seamless.
Other than the little light on the dash and the instrument cluster, you can't tell it's changing over at all.
The only real drawback? The Silverado's low roofline over the windshield gave us a closed-in feeling. But overall, Chevy's done a great job. For a completely stock truck, that is.
When we come back, we'll be adding 3 popular upgrades to the Silverado. And later, it's rust removal magic. Stay tuned.
Hey, welcome back. Well, we gotta say that for a bone stock vehicle, this new 07 Silverado, it does pretty good. And we just showed you that with a 6,000-pound truck, this thing's got good acceleration, good handling, it's laid out nicely on the inside, and the new styling on the outside, it looks great. So we could just leave it alone, but this is trucks, and that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, and the truth is, most of you guys out there who buy a brand new truck won't leave it alone either. In fact, within 90 days of rolling a new truck off the showroom floor, most guys will start to add some things. The most popular aftermarket add-ons are cold air intakes, catback exhaust systems, and wheels and tires.
Now, I know you've seen us bolt on a ton of these kits, and for good reason. A catback exhaust and a cold air intake, well, it's an easy and affordable way to bolt on horsepower to your truck. And wheels and tires, yeah, they look cool, but they can also really enhance the handling. But you gotta be careful when you're dealing with a brand new vehicle because sometimes aftermarket parts can affect your warranty. But these, they're not aftermarket parts. Yeah, I know GM has always had accessories, but now they've come up with a full line of accessories and parts, including performance modifications that will not void your warranty. So, by having your dealer install these items, you can personalize your vehicle, avoid any warranty issues, roll all of the cost into your truck payment, and save yourself from spending a ton of cash right after you bought a brand new vehicle.
And the first thing most guys will add is GM's cold air kit. It uses a dry filter that, according to GM, will keep oil from contaminating your engine sensors.
The biggest benefit of a cold air intake is due to the fact that it's drawing unrestricted air into the engine that's been separated from the heat in the engine bay. It's this cooler, increased volume of air that simply allows the engine to draw in as much air as possible and increase fuel delivery to match. More air and fuel equals more power. GM's system uses a dry filter, so there's virtually no maintenance other than periodic cleanings, and all the factory sensors match up perfectly, giving the computer the proper feedback. Now you guys know that any engine is just a big, powerful air pump, and a cold air intake only helps out half of the equation. Now GM makes their own stainless steel catback exhaust that's really going to go a long way to enhancing the efficiency of this big 6-liter. Chevy's catback actually only fits the 5.3-liter engines, so the system we're using on our 6-liter is for demonstration purposes only. Now this new system comes with a very efficient muffler with a flow-through design that replaces the more restrictive stock muffler and completely eliminates the stock resonator.
Now GM has been making stainless steel exhaust systems for years, but now they've stepped up to a higher grade 304 stainless for their performance systems. Of course, they added the good-looking tip at the end. Sometimes with aftermarket parts, there are little things you have to fudge or tweak to make fit. Well, not with this system. It's designed by GM engineers, so all 3 components literally drop into place. And this higher quality stainless steel will last the life of the truck. no problem. Plus, with the resonator gone, this thing's gonna sound great.
Now, I know you guys have already figured out that some of these major auto manufacturers have finally caught up with some of the wheel and tire trends in the aftermarket. And now they're coming out with their own versions of 18s, 20s, even 22s.
Now, the aftermarket has hundreds of options and very cool wheel and tire upgrades. But if you go too radical, you can affect ABS operation, speedometer calibration, all of which are electronically controlled nowadays. And that opens up a whole new set of parameters to deal with. But these GM wheels are 20s, they look great, and they've got the same rolling diameters the stock 17s we're replacing, so they won't screw up any of our factory settings.
Over the break, the guys are going to start adding the kind of work accessories that'll help you get any job done. Then we'll take our Silverado back out for a little more fun.
Hey, welcome back to Trucks, where today we managed to get our hands on a brand new 2007 Chevy Silverado. Let you know what we think about it, how it performs, and how it looks.
Now, we all pretty much agree this is a good looking truck. And when we took it out on the road, this stock light duty four-wheel drive performed well.
But even with the newest of trucks, well, the new wears off after a couple of months, and that's when guys start looking for aftermarket parts and performance upgrades. But as you know, that stuff can affect your factory warranty.
Well, GM's been paying attention, and they now offer performance products that work within your new truck's warranty. And so far today, we've added on their new cold air kit, catback exhaust system, and even thrown on a set of their new 20-inch wheels and tires.
But before we take this truck back out on the road to see what the performance products can do, GM messed up bad and left us the keys to the warehouse. So we're going to check out some of these other accessories that you can have put on at your dealership, roll the cost of them back into the truck payment, personalize your rig before you even leave the parking lot.
During the break, we added their new bed liner to our Silverado. And while molded liners are nothing new in the world of trucks, there are some other things GM's coming out with that are pretty cool, especially if you're putting together a work truck.
One of the coolest accessories that we found was their cargo management system that uses racks with a weight rating of 500 pounds per side.
There are portable toolboxes that can mount easily on the rack, and they can be moved and locked almost anywhere in the bed. And for bigger jobs, they also offer a full-size toolbox.
To keep cargo from shifting around, there's a bed divider and a bed extender for extra long loads.
Now, you don't have to remove your other accessories to use the new overhead rack. It can support up to 500 pounds for things such as ladders, lumber, or construction materials.
And when you're done working and you want to go play, the rack comes right back off in just a few minutes. There are tubular side steps, billet sill plates, and even heavy-duty rubber mats to protect the interior from a messy job site. All right, let's go see if we woke this thing up a little bit. Hit it, man.
Now that sounds good. Back out on the road, our personalized Silverado was roaring. The new catback exhaust and cold air system was sounding great. And they were showing up in our test numbers as well.
This time on our acceleration run, we picked up 3 tenths, bringing up 15.9 seconds and scraping up a few more miles per hour in the quarter.
And our new 20-inch wheels and tires looked good without hurting performance.
Yeah, I was half expecting the ride to stiffen up a little bit with the lower profile tires, but didn't seem to change much. Didn't hurt anything, that's for sure. Still get good, solid steering feedback through the wheel.
Overall, we like Chevy's new Silverado, even though we wish they'd talk to us about that roof line, and maybe they should think about going to a 6-speed transmission. But either way, neither issue seemed to affect this truck's drivability. Chevy's new 2007 Silverado starts around $18,700, and a well-equipped model like ours will run you about $38,000.
In the end, one thing we really liked was rolling all the cost of everything we personalized this Silverado with into a low-interest truck payment instead of a high-interest credit card. And you can take that to the bank.
When we come back, it's chemical rust removal that'll give your grinder the day off.
Hey, here's something for you guys that drive a little bit older truck. If you've got a 96 to 99 full-size GM truck or SUV, and you've got a high mileage or worn out engine, or you just want some more low-end grunt from your truck, here's the engine for you. This is GM's HT383E. It's an emissions legal stroker that'll give you 340 horsepower at 4,500 RPM and a knuckle whitening 435 foot-pounds of torque at 4,000 RPM. For 96 to 99 trucks, all you have to do is peel your stock intake and exhaust manifolds out of the way, get rid of the old 5.7, and drop in your new 383. Now your stock ECM is going to adapt to the new engine, so you're not going to have issues like trouble codes or any other gremlins to chase down. Now this engine ships without an intake, but if you want to run it in a hot rod or an older pickup truck, get a Vortex-style manifold, throw in your favorite carburetor, you're good to go. Either way, for about $5,600, you can have GM's HT383E in whatever you want to put it in.
Now here's something that's not going to cost you a dime, other than the cost of some simple household cleaner. If you've got a vintage vehicle that's suffering from the old tin worm, rust, well, you know you got to do something about it, because as the saying goes, rust never sleeps. Now what a lot of guys will do is grab a grinder and grind off the rust, as well as a healthy portion of the good metal. But one of the problems with that is that you can leave rust in the pits of the metal, and if you try and prime or paint over this, it's going to cause you problems down the road. Well, here's a way of removing all of the rust without removing any of the good metal. All you need is a tank that'll hold your part, a 12-volt battery charger capable of at least 2 amps of constant current, and sodium carbonate. Now, in the grocery stores, this is known as washing boost or washing soda. Now, in our tank, we've got a solution of 1 teaspoon of washing soda for every pint of water. Lay your part in the solution and hook up the negative lead of the charger to the part itself, and the positive lead to a steel rod that's set into the water. Now set your battery charger to a constant 2 amp service and let the work happen. You'll start to see bubbles form on the contacts and rusty surface. This is hydrogen forming and outgassing into the solution. So make sure you're in a well-ventilated area when you do this. And hey, no smoking. Now our control arm's been in the tank about 48 hours. Smaller parts aren't going to take you as long. But you can see where it's turned black. All of the rust is gone, and none of the good metal has been disturbed or altered in any way. Non-destructive rust removal. Now that is cool. Thanks for watching Trucks. We'll see you next week.